The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Science Council gleamed under the light of 3 moons. Inside, beings from 37 different worlds gathered in a chamber designed to accommodate creatures of all shapes, sizes, and atmospheric needs. Some floated in bubbles of special gas. Others sat in pools of liquid. Many stood on platforms adjusted to their unique gravity requirements. Commander Zilvek moved to the center of the chamber. His blue skin shimmered with bioluminescent patterns that expressed his anxiety. The tall, slender alien's 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he prepared to address the assembly. "Esteemed representatives," he began, his translator converting his musical language into the standard galactic communication format. "We face a crisis that threatens our collective future." The chamber quieted. Even the Morgellons, known for their constant whispered conversations among their hive mind, fell silent. For 712 years, the brightest minds of the Jurin Collective have worked to solve what we call the equation of impossibility. This mathematical problem holds the key to interdimensional travel and energy production beyond our current understanding. Zilvek gestured with a long 6-fingered hand. A holographic display appeared above the center of the chamber, showing complex symbols and patterns that twisted and moved in ways that hurt the eyes of several species. Despite our best efforts, we have reached an impasse. Our neural networks, spanning entire moons and processing data at rates that approach the universal computational limit, predict we will need another 1,000 years to solve this equation. A low murmur spread through the chamber. 1,000 years was not long for some species, but for others it represented dozens of generations. "We do not have 1,000 years," Zilvek continued. "The cosmic void expands. Already 3 solar systems in the outer rim have been lost. Our models suggest that within 200 years, the void will reach core worlds." The Keltheran representative, a being made of living crystal, chimed with concern. "What do you propose?" "Commander, if the collective intelligence of the Jurians cannot solve this problem, what hope do the rest of us have?" Zilveka's skin patterns shifted to a deep purple, indicating resolve mixed with apprehension. "I propose we seek help from outside our established scientific community. Specifically from Earth," the chamber erupted. Some representatives rose from their seats. Others changed colors rapidly or emitted warning pheromones. "Earth? A death world?" The Venturi delegate's voice boomed through his atmospheric suit. "Those creatures are barely civilized. They achieved faster-than-light travel only 50 years ago." "They are dangerous," added the representative from Mithril. "Their biology alone poses risks to half the species in this chamber. They evolved on a planet that would kill most of us in minutes." Zilvek raised all 4 of his hands, calling for order. "Yes, Earth is classified as a Class 5 death world. Yes, humans are physiologically adapted to conditions most of us find lethal. But consider this, their minds evolved differently than ours. They think in ways we do not." He gestured again, and the holographic display changed to show a planet of blue and green spinning slowly. Humans survived on a world of extreme temperature variations, high gravity, toxic oxygen atmosphere, and dangerous radiation levels from their star. Their planet hosts millions of species, many of which tried to eat them throughout their evolution. The Morgellon's representative, speaking for her entire hive, buzzed softly. "You believe this harsh evolution gave them unique problem-solving abilities?" "I do," Zilvek said. "Our intelligence evolved toward logical perfection. Theirs evolved to spot patterns in chaos, to make intuitive leaps, to survive against overwhelming odds. They call it thinking outside the box, a concept many of our species struggle to understand," the Keltheran chimed again. "There have been reports from trading vessels, humans solving engineering problems through what they call jury rigging. Solutions that should not work according to standard principles, yet somehow do." "Precisely," Zilvek said. "And there are rumors from the educational exchange program. Human students approaching problems from angles our teachers never considered." The chamber grew quiet as the representatives considered this. The Venturi Delegate finally spoke again. Even if what you say is true, bringing humans to a high-security facility poses risks. They are known to be curious, even reckless. Their diplomatic record is ... inconsistent. Zilvek's skin patterns showed agreement. I propose strict protocols, a small delegation. 6 of their top mathematicians under careful supervision. They need not know the full implications of the equation, only the equation itself. The Council debated for hours. Arguments for safety competed with the growing dread of the cosmic void. Eventually, a vote was called. By a narrow margin, the proposal passed. It is decided, announced the Council arbiter, an ancient being of pure energy contained within a specialized field. A diplomatic vessel will be sent to Earth. Their government will be invited to send their finest mathematical minds to Proxima Station for a special summit. As the meeting concluded, Zilvek was approached by Zix, a junior scientist who had been observing from the sides of the chamber. Commander, is this wise? Zix asked, his skin patterns showing worry. Humans are unpredictable. Their history contains much violence. Zilvek looked out through the crystal dome at the stars beyond. Sometimes, Zix, the greatest discoveries come from the most unlikely sources. The humans have a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Our necessity is great. And if they cannot help? Zix pressed. Then we continue as before, Zilvek said. But if they can see something in the equation that we cannot ... His skin briefly flashed with a color rarely seen in Shurian's Hope, the diplomatic vessel, departed the next day, its quantum drives pushing it through subspace toward the small blue planet that most advanced species avoided. In its data banks, it carried an invitation and a heavily redacted version of the equation, enough to interest Earth scientists without revealing its true purpose. 3 weeks later, as Zilvek was reviewing simulation results in his private laboratory, he received the notification he had been waiting for. The humans had accepted the invitation. Their delegation would include Dr. Olivia Bennett, Earth's leading theoretical mathematician, along with 5 other distinguished scientists, what the message did not mention. And what Zilvek could not have anticipated was that Dr. Bennett had requested special permission to bring her 14-year-old daughter, Lily, who was on school break and could not be left alone for the expected duration of the summit. This small detail, an afterthought in the diplomatic arrangements, would change the course of galactic history. The human transport ship docked at Proxima Station with a gentle hiss of equalizing pressure. Dr. Olivia Bennett stood in the airlock, her hand resting protectively on her daughter's shoulder. Behind them, 5 other scientists checked their equipment one last time. Remember what I told you? Olivia said to Lily, brushing a strand of brown hair from the girl's face. Stay close, speak softly, and try not to make any sudden movements. Some species find our behavior startling. Lily nodded, her green eyes wide with excitement rather than fear. At 14, she was tall for her age, but still looked small next to the adults. She clutched her worn backpack, which contained paper, notebooks, colored pencils, and a tablet loaded with books and games. I promise I'll be good, Lily said. I won't get in the way of your work. The airlock doors slid open. A delegation of aliens waited beyond, standing at a careful distance. Commander Zilvek stepped forward, his blue skin pulsing with formal greeting patterns. Dr. Bennett, he said through his translator, welcome to Proxima Station. We are honored by your presence. Olivia stepped forward and made the universal greeting gesture, hands open and palms forward. The honor is ours, Commander. Thank you for inviting us to collaborate on this fascinating mathematical challenge. Zilvek's upper eyes blinked in acknowledgement while his lower eyes focused on Lily. And this must be your offspring. We were informed of her accompaniment. My daughter, Lily, Olivia confirmed. I appreciate your understanding. Our stay was too long for her to remain on Earth. Lily smiled but remembered to keep her lips closed over her teeth. Humans had learned that many species found the display of teeth to be an aggressive gesture. We have prepared suitable quarters for all of you, Zilvek said. Your biological needs have been accounted for. After you settle in, we will brief You on the equation. The humans followed the alien delegation through corridors designed to accommodate beings of vastly different sizes and shapes. Lily stared in wonder at everything: the transparent tubes where jellyfish-like creatures floated, the low-gravity sections where spindly beings bounded along, the walls that shifted colors to communicate station information. Their quarters were in a section modified for oxygen breathers. The rooms were spacious by human standards, with beds, desks, and facilities adapted for human physiology. Lily had a small room connected to her mother's. "This will be our home for the next few months," Olivia told her, unpacking her clothes. "While I'm working, you'll continue your studies. The station has an education center where young beings from various species learn. You'll attend sessions there." Lily set her backpack on the bed. "Will there be other kids my age?" "Not exactly like you," Olivia said. "But yes, there will be young beings. The concept of childhood varies among species. Some mature in months. Others take decades. You'll meet beings at different stages of development." After settling in, the human scientists were escorted to a large laboratory. A holographic projection of the equation filled the center of the room. Glowing symbols twisting in complex patterns. Zilvek gestured toward it. "This is what we call the equation of impossibility. For 7 centuries, the finest minds in the galaxy have attempted to solve it." Dr. Alan Parker, a quantum mathematician from MIT, whistled softly. "It's beautiful," he said. "I've never seen mathematical structures quite like these." "What does it represent?" asked Dr. Leah Johnson, running her hand through her short gray hair. "What problem is it trying to solve?" Zilvek's skin rippled with cautious patterns. "It relates to the nature of dimensional barriers and energy conversion. Beyond that, I'm not authorized to explain its full significance." Olivia stepped closer to the hologram, her eyes tracking the movement of symbols. "So you want us to solve a problem without telling us what it's for?" "We believe that fresh perspectives may be valuable," Zilvek said, "especially perspectives from minds that evolved differently than our own." "Because we're Deathworlders," Dr. Simon Gray said bluntly. The tall, dark-skinned physicist crossed his arms. "You think our primitive brains might see something your advanced ones missed?" The alien commander's skin flushed purple. "Not primitive. Different. Your species evolved to recognize patterns in chaotic environments, to make intuitive leaps. Our species evolved toward logical precision. We hope these complementary approaches might yield results," Olivia nodded. "Fair enough. We'll need access to all previous work on the equation, all failed approaches, all partial solutions." "Of course," Zilvek agreed. "Junior Scientist Zix will be your liaison. He will provide whatever resources you require." A younger Shurian stepped forward. His skin was a lighter blue than Zilvek's, with simpler pattern capabilities, marking him as not yet fully mature. "I am honored to assist you," Zix said, his translator conveying enthusiasm. "I have studied human culture extensively." While the scientists began their work, Lily was taken to the education center. The large, multi-level space bustled with young beings from various species. Some floated in bubbles, others crawled along walls. A few resembled talking plants more than animals. An educator, a tall insectoid being called Teacher Krill, greeted her. "Welcome, young human. We have prepared a learning station for you. You will join Mixed Group 7 for general education and continue your Earth studies independently." Lily was introduced to her Group 6 young beings from different worlds. There was a small Morgellon whose body contained a tiny hive mind. Pelx, a floating puff of gas contained in a transparent sphere. Krill, who looked like a 4-armed salamander. And others she couldn't immediately classify. Days fell into a pattern. Mornings, Lily attended classes learning about galactic history, basic xenobiology, and comparative cultural studies. Afternoons, she studied Earth subjects on her tablet. Evenings, she had dinner with her mother and the other scientists, listening to their discussions about the equation. One evening, unable to sleep, Lily wandered from her quarters. The station's lighting was dimmed to simulate night, but many areas remained active as different species followed different sleep cycles. She found herself drawn to the lab where her mother worked. The door recognized her biometrics. She was authorized as Dr. Bennett's dependent and slid open. The equation hung in the air, glowing softly in the semi-darkness. Lily sat cross-legged on the floor, staring up at it. The symbols twisted and pulsed almost like they were dancing. She took out her notebook and began to sketch what she saw, not the individual symbols, but the patterns they made together. "You should not be here unaccompanied," a voice said softly. Lily turned to see Zix standing in the doorway. His skin glowed faintly in the dim light. "I'm sorry," she said. "I couldn't sleep." "The equation ... it's pretty." Zix moved closer, curious. "Pretty?" "Most find it unsettling to look at for long periods." "It reminds me of music," Lily said, showing him her sketch. "See how this part repeats but with variations? Like a melody, with different harmonies." The young alien studied her drawing. "You perceive it differently than we do," he said, his voice betraying fascination. "We see discrete components to be analyzed logically. You see ... patterns?" Lily nodded. "Everything makes patterns. That's how I remember things for school. I find the patterns." Zix's skin flickered with a new color. "Perhaps this is what Commander Zovek meant about human perspectives." He paused. "Would you like to see more? The historical attempts to solve it?" Lily's eyes lit up. "Can I? It is not classified information, just ... unsuccessful approaches." Zix moved to a console and accessed files. Here, 7 centuries of attempts. As new projections appeared around the central equation, Lily sat entranced, watching the history of an impossible problem unfold before her. And Zix watched Lily, wondering what a young human might see that generations of the galaxy's greatest minds had missed. Weeks passed on Proxima Station. The human scientists made progress with the equation but kept hitting walls. Each breakthrough led to new complications. The equation seemed to twist away from solution as if it were alive and resisting their efforts. Lily spent more and more time in the lab after hours. Zix, breaking minor protocols, allowed her these visits. He found the young human's perspective fascinating. While the adult scientists approached the equation with formal mathematical tools, Lily drew it in her notebook, adding colors and notes about how different parts made her feel. "This section feels heavy," she told Zix one night, pointing to a cluster of symbols, like bass notes in music. "But this part over here is light and quick, like high notes on a piano." Zix's skin rippled with confusion. "I do not understand how mathematical expressions can feel heavy or light." Lily thought for a moment. "Do you have music on your world?" "We have harmonic sound arrangements, yes." "Can you tell the difference between happy and sad music?" Zix considered this. "There are compositions that stimulate different emotional responses, yes." "That's what I mean," Lily said. "The equation has parts that feel different from each other. Some parts feel like they're fighting, and some parts feel like they're trying to work together." The young alien watched as Lily sketched more patterns. Her drawings didn't capture the exact symbols of the equation, but somehow conveyed its movement and structure in a way he'd never considered. "May I show your drawings to Commander Zovek?" Zix asked. Lily shrugged. "Sure, but they're just doodles." "Not real math?" The next day, while Lily was at the education center, Zix presented her notebooks to Zovek. The commander's skin displayed patterns of deep thought as he flipped through the pages. "These are ... unusual interpretations," he said finally. "The young human sees patterns we do not," Zix explained. "She perceives relationships between components that our analysis doesn't capture." Zovek handed the notebook back. "Continue to observe her. This may be the kind of alternative perspective we hoped for when we invited the humans." In the education center, Lily was having troubles of her own. Some of the alien children found her fascinating, but others were wary of the Deathworlder. Today, Pelks was keeping distance from her. "What's wrong?" Lily asked. The floating puff of gas. Trill, the salamander-like being, answered for her friend. "Pelks learned today that humans can exhale forcefully enough to rupture her containment field. She is afraid." Lily felt terrible. "I would never blow on you, Pelks, I promise." Teacher Krill intervened. This is a good learning opportunity. Each species has capabilities that could harm others unintentionally. Morgellons can release toxic spores. Thrixians secrete acid when startled. We must all be mindful of our biological differences, Lily nodded. On Earth, we have to be careful around smaller animals too. Even picking up a bird the wrong way can hurt its wings. Precisely, Teacher Krill said. Now, today we are studying spatial reasoning. Please form your problem-solving groups. The young beings separated into teams. Lily worked with Moore, the tiny Morgellon collective, and Draz, a crystal being who communicated by changing colors. They were given a puzzle, arrange blocks of different densities to create a balanced structure. While the others calculated weight distributions, Lily began stacking blocks intuitively. That will fall, Draz flashed in doubtful blue. I don't think so, Lily said. It feels balanced to me. To everyone's surprise, her structure held. When Teacher Krill asked her to explain her approach, Lily struggled to put it into words. I just felt where they should go. Like when you're carrying too many things and have to balance them so nothing falls. The teacher's antennae twitched. With interest, humans rely heavily on proprioception and intuitive physics due to their evolutionary environment. Fascinating. That evening, Lily found her mother in their quarters, looking exhausted. The human scientists had been working 16-hour days trying to crack the equation. Any progress? Lily asked, sitting beside Olivia on the couch. Some, her mother sighed. We've managed to resolve 2 sections that the aliens couldn't, but we're still missing something fundamental. The equation keeps looping back on itself. Lily hesitated, then asked, Have you tried looking at it as a whole instead of in pieces? Olivia smiled tiredly. That's not really how complex mathematics works, honey. We have to break it down into manageable parts. But what if that's the problem? Lily persisted. What if it's supposed to be seen all at once, like a picture? Her mother patted her hand. That's an interesting thought, but the equation exists in multiple mathematical dimensions. No one can visualize it completely. The next day, the human scientists presented their latest findings to the Galactic Science Council. Lily sat in the back of the chamber, watching as her mother and the others explained their progress. We've identified a recurring pattern in the quantum variables, Dr. Parker was saying. It suggests a form of mathematical recursion that wasn't apparent in previous approaches. The council members listened attentively, but Lily could sense their disappointment. The humans were doing better than previous teams, but were still far from a solution after the presentation. Commander Zilvek approached Dr. Bennett. Your insights are valuable, but time grows short. The void expands faster than predicted. We're doing our best, Olivia said, frustration edging her voice. This equation is unlike anything we've encountered on Earth. Zilvek's skin darkened. Perhaps we expected too much. We will continue to provide whatever resources you need. As the adults talked, Lily slipped away. She wandered the station until she found a viewing dome. The vast expanse of space spread out before her, stars scattered like diamonds on black velvet. Zix found her there an hour later. The stars make patterns too, Lily said without turning around. Ancient humans connected them to make pictures called constellations. Different cultures saw different pictures in the same stars. Zix settled beside her. Different perspectives seeing different patterns in the same data, like you with the equation. Lily nodded. I keep thinking about what my music teacher said. She told me that sometimes when you're stuck on a piece of music, you should stop trying so hard. Let your fingers remember instead of your brain. I do not understand, Zix admitted. It's like there are different ways of knowing things. Thinking about them directly isn't always the best way. That night, Lily had a dream. The equation danced around her, not as symbols but as music and light and color. In the dream, she reached out and rearranged the patterns. Not according to mathematical rules, but according to how they wanted to flow together. She woke up with a gasp, grabbed her notebook, and began to draw frantically. The images poured out of her circles within circles, spirals connecting to lines, dots forming constellations. It wasn't the equation as the scientists saw it, but it was the equation as she felt it. When she finished, she stared at her drawing. Something important was hidden in these patterns. Something the adults were all missing because they were trying too hard to think their way through a problem that needed to be felt. The next morning, Lily found Zix in the dining area. The young alien was consuming nutrient mist, absorbing it through his skin. Lily sat across from him with her breakfast tray. "I need to try something with the equation," she said without preamble. "Can you help me?" Zix's skin rippled with curiosity. "What do you wish to attempt?" Lily opened her notebook to the drawing she had made after her dream. "I want to input this into the simulation system." The alien studied her drawing. It was unlike her previous sketches, more ordered yet somehow more fluid, with interconnecting patterns that seemed to flow into each other. "This is not mathematics as we understand it," Zix said. "I know," Lily replied. "But it's how I see the equation when I'm not trying to solve it, when I just let it be what it is." Zix considered this. Allowing a young human to input random patterns into the primary simulation system was against protocols. But the entire purpose of inviting humans had been to find new approaches. "I will help you," he decided. "But we must do it when the lab is empty. There is a rest period scheduled for the human scientists in 2 hours. We can try then." 2 hours later, Lily and Zix entered the empty laboratory. The equation hung in the center of the room, its symbols gently rotating in holographic space. Zix moved to the control panel. "I will need to translate your drawing into input the system can process." "Can I do it directly?" Lily asked. "Like, can I move the pieces myself?" The alien hesitated. "The interface is not designed for manual manipulation, but is it possible?" Zix's skin flickered as he thought. "There's a calibration mode that allows direct interaction. It is used for system maintenance, not equation solving." "Perfect," Lily said with a smile. Zix activated the calibration mode. The holographic equation became solid-looking, its parts glowing with handles and connection points. Lily stepped into the center of the display, surrounded by floating mathematical symbols. "The system will record any changes you make," Zix explained. "But this is not how the equation is normally processed." Lily nodded, not really listening. She was looking at the equation from the inside now, and it was even more beautiful than she had imagined. The symbols hummed with energy she could almost feel. Slowly, she reached out and touched one glowing cluster. It responded to her touch, pulsing brighter. She moved it gently, not toward where it logically should go, but toward where it felt like it wanted to be. "This is not mathematically valid," Zix said, watching her work. "You are creating connections between unrelated variables." "They're not unrelated," Lily replied, continuing to move pieces. "They're just connected in a way that's hard to see if you're looking at them separately." For nearly an hour, Lily rearranged the equation. She didn't use formulas or calculations. She simply moved pieces according to how they resonated with each other. Like arranging musical notes into a harmony, Zix watched in fascination as the equation transformed. It was still recognizable as the equation of impossibility, but its structure had shifted. Parts that had been distant were now connected. Segments that had been fighting each other now flowed together. "I think that's it," Lily said finally, stepping back to look at her work. Zix checked the system readings. "The simulation shows a 47% resolution rate. That is ... unprecedented. Is that good?" Lily asked. "In 7 centuries, no attempt has achieved above 23%. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. The equation pulsed with bright light, and data streams erupted across every screen in the lab. Zix's skin flashed with alarm patterns. "The system is processing your configuration," he sighed, his voice rising. "It is propagating through the station's network." The door to the lab slid open. Commander Zilvek rushed in, followed by several Jarian scientists. They stopped short at the sight of the transformed equation. "What is happening?" Zilvek demanded. "Who authorized this?" Before Zix could answer, more people arrived, Olivia Bennett and the other human scientists, drawn by the alarms. "Lily?" Olivia said, seeing her daughter standing in the center of the holographic display. What are you doing here? The equation continued to pulse, the resolution percentage climbing on the displays. 52%, 58%, 63%. Explain, Zilvek sighed, his skin dark with confusion and excitement. Zik stepped forward. The young human has reconfigured the equation based on her perceptual understanding of its patterns. The system is recognizing valid solutions. That's impossible, Dr. Parker sighed. She has no advanced mathematical training. The equation reached 71% resolution and stabilized. The alarm stopped, replaced by a soft, harmonic tone that indicated a major breakthrough. All eyes turned to Lily, who stood small and suddenly nervous in the center of attention. How did you do this? Zilvek asked. Lily looked at her mother, who nodded encouragingly. I didn't try to solve it piece by piece, Lily explained. I looked at how the whole thing wanted to fit together, like a song where all the notes need to work together to make the right sound. But the mathematical principles, one of the Shorian scientists began. I think that was the problem, Lily interrupted. Everyone was so focused on the math that they couldn't see the patterns. The equation isn't just math, it's a picture of something real. The lab fell silent as everyone stared at the transformed equation. Even to the non-scientists, it looked more harmonious, more natural than before. Dr. Bennett moved to a console and began running analyses. The solution is partial but stable, she announced. The approach is completely. Novelit treats the mathematical dimensions as interconnected rather than discrete. This is what we hoped for when we invited humans, Zilvek said, his skin showing complex patterns of wonder. A completely different perspective, he turned to Lily. Young human, you have done what generations of the greatest minds in the galaxy could not. You saw the equation as it truly is, not as we believed it to be. The council was called into emergency session. Lily found herself standing before the assembled representatives of 37 species, trying not to fidget as Zilvek explained what had happened. The human child approached the equation not as a mathematical problem to be solved, but as a pattern to be harmonized, he told the stunned council. Her configuration has achieved 71% resolution, far beyond anything we thought possible in our lifetime. But she is a child, the Venturi delegate objected. Not a mathematician or scientist? Perhaps that was the advantage, Dr. Bennett said, standing protectively beside her daughter. She wasn't constrained by formal mathematical thinking. She saw connections that our training taught us to ignore. Lily looked out at the alien faces and realized they were seeing her differently now. Not just as a curious young Deathworlder, but as someone who had done something important. I just did what felt right, she said simply. The equation was trying to show us something, but everyone was too busy trying to make it fit their rules. Out of the mouths of young ones, the ancient council arbiter said, its energy form pulsing gently. We have been approaching this problem incorrectly for centuries. We needed the perspective of a species that evolved to see patterns in chaos. Zilvek's skin brightened. With the young human's approach as a foundation, I believe we can achieve full resolution. We must reconsider all our previous assumptions. As the council debated next steps, Lily stood quietly, thinking about the equation. She knew they weren't finished yet. The solution was closer, but something was still missing, a final connection that would make everything clear. And somehow, she felt certain she would be the one to find it. In the days that followed, Proxima Station buzzed with renewed energy. Scientists from all species worked together to build on Lily's breakthrough. The equation's 71% resolution rate had opened new pathways of understanding, but a complete solution remained elusive. Lily split her time between the education center and the lab. The alien children now looked at her with new respect, especially after Teacher Krill had explained the importance of what she had done. Is it true you solved the big equation? Moore asked, all 6 of his tiny bodies vibrating with excitement. Not completely, Lily said, but I helped. Will you show us how you did it? Krill asked. Lily tried to explain her approach, but found it difficult to put into words. I just felt how the pieces wanted to connect. Like when you look at clouds and see shapes? Even Teacher Krill's antennae twitched with confusion. But the equation has no desires or intentions. It is a mathematical construct. Maybe, Lily said. But it represents something real, right? And real things have patterns that make sense together. In the main laboratory, the adult scientists continued their work. With Lily's configuration as a starting point, they had made additional progress. The resolution rate had climbed to 84%. We're close, Dr. Bennett told Commander Zilvek. But we're still missing something fundamental. Zilvek's skin showed patterns of concern. Our latest reports show the Void has claimed another system. 3 billion lives relocated. Time grows short, Olivia nodded grimly. We understand the stakes. We're doing everything we can. That evening, Lily sat with her mother in their quarters, helping her review data on her tablet. The structure makes more sense now, Olivia said, but there's still a gap in the connective principles. We can't quite bridge the dimensional barriers. Lily looked at the equations on the screen. It's like the equation is trying to show two things at once, but everyone keeps trying to make it show just one. Her mother looked up. What do you mean? It's like... Lily searched for a way to explain. Like when you look at those pictures that can be two different things depending on how you look at them. A vase or two faces. A young woman or an old lady. Olivia straightened an ambiguous image. A visual that contains multiple valid interpretations simultaneously. She quickly made notes. That's brilliant, Lily. The equation might be representing a superposition of mathematical states. The next morning, the human scientists presented this new theory to the Jurian research team. We've been assuming the equation has a single solution, Dr. Parker explained. But what if it's meant to represent multiple solutions existing simultaneously? The Jurians had difficulty grasping the concept. Their logical minds struggled with the idea of embracing mathematical ambiguity. Mathematics must be precise, one argued. A function cannot have multiple valid outputs for the same input. Quantum mathematics allows for precisely that, Dr. Johnson countered, and this equation clearly operates in quantum space. As the adults debated, Lily sat quietly in the corner, doodling in her notebook. She was drawing the equation again, but this time she drew it twice on the same page overlapping. Intertwining, two versions existing in the same space. Zix noticed her drawing and moved to sit beside her. What are you creating now? The equation is like two songs played at once, Lily said. Everyone keeps trying to hear just one song, but you need to listen to both together to hear the real music. Zix studied her drawing. Two superimposed states. Like the human scientists are suggesting? Lily nodded. But they're still trying to separate them. They need to let them be together. The young alien's skin flickered with excitement. Would you be willing to try another direct interaction with the simulation to show what you mean? Lily glanced at the adults, still deep in their technical discussion. Now, Zix confirmed that they slipped away to a smaller research lab. Zix activated the holographic display, and the equation appeared now in its partially resolved state based on Lily's previous work. The system has been updated to allow more intuitive interaction, Zix explained. After your success, Commander Zilvek ordered modifications to the interface. Lily stepped into the hologram. This time, instead of moving pieces, she began to duplicate them. She created overlapping layers, making two versions of the equation occupy the same space. The system will try to resolve this as a paradox, Zix warned. It's not a paradox, Lily said, continuing her work. It's just two things being true at the same time. As she worked, the simulation began to change. The two layers of the equation didn't fight each other as expected. Instead, they began to harmonize, creating new connections that hadn't been possible before. The resolution percentage began to climb. 85%, 90%. 95%. Alarm sounded again, but different from before a rising, triumphant tone. The stations. Communication system activated automatically. Attention all personnel, the system announced. Major breakthrough detected in Equation Research Lab 2. All senior staff report immediately. Within minutes, the small lab was crowded with scientists and officials. They watched in amazement as the equation reached 99% resolution, then finally, 100%. The completed equation glowed with a perfect, harmonious light. Its structure now made intuitive sense even to those seeing it for the first time, two intertwined mathematical realities supporting and defining each other. "She did it," Dr. Bennett whispered, watching her daughter stand in the center of the gently pulsing light. "She actually did it." Commander Zilvek's skin displayed patterns never before seen by the human's joy, relief, and wonder all mixed together. The equation of impossibility ... solved. An emergency session of the council was convened. The chamber was filled beyond capacity as representatives from all species gathered to hear the news. "The solution has been verified," Zilvek announced. "It allows for controlled interdimensional folding and unlimited energy conversion. With this, we can create barriers against the void expansion and evacuate threatened systems if necessary." The council arbiter's energy form brightened. "And this final breakthrough was achieved by the same young human?" "Yes," Zilvek confirmed. Lily Bennett approached the equation not as a problem of mathematical logic, but as a matter of pattern, harmony. She saw that the equation represented a dual-state reality, something our linear thinking prevented us from recognizing. Lily stood beside her mother, still somewhat bewildered by all the attention. The Venturi delegate, who had been most skeptical of involving humans, approached them. "Young Deathworlder," the Venturi said through his translator, "you have saved countless lives across the galaxy. How can we repay such a debt?" Lily thought for a moment. "I'm supposed to start 9th grade when we get back to Earth. Maybe you could help me with my science fair project?" Laughter rippled through the chamber, or the various sounds that represented. Laughter for different species. "I believe we can arrange something more significant," the council arbiter said. "The Galactic Science Council will establish a new research division focused on interdimensional mathematics, and we would be honored if Earth would take a permanent seat on the council." The human scientists looked at each other in shock. Earth, a full member of the Galactic Science Council? It was beyond anything they had imagined possible. "We accept with gratitude," Dr. Bennett said. "And I think I speak for all humans when I say we look forward to many more collaborations." As the formal proceedings continued, Lily found Zix waiting near the exit. "You're leaving soon," the young alien said, his skin showing sad colors. "In a few days," Lily confirmed. "I have to get back for school. Will you return to Proxima Station someday?" Lily smiled. "I think so. Mom says I might have a future in xenomathematics, whatever that is." "It means the study of mathematical principles across species," Zix explained. "A field that barely existed before you arrived." Lily looked around at the council chamber, at the representatives of 37. Different worlds all working together. "I'd like that. There are probably lots of other problems that need different ways of seeing." 1 week later, the human transport prepared for departure. The station's docking bay was filled with aliens coming to say goodbye, particularly to Lily. Commander Zilvek presented her with a small crystal sphere. "This contains the completed equation, preserved exactly as you arranged it. It will serve as a reminder that sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come not from advanced technology or centuries of study, but from seeing with fresh eyes." As the ship pulled away from the station, Lily watched through the viewport as Proxima faded into the distance. The equation crystal glowed softly in her hands, its light shifting between patterns that somehow looked like both mathematics and music. At the same time, "Ready to go home?" her mother asked, sitting beside her. Lily nodded. "I have a lot to tell my friends, and my math teacher is never going to believe this." The ship jumped to faster-than-light speed, carrying them back to Earth, the Death World. That had produced a girl who could see harmony in the universe's most impossible equation.